All right, today we're jumping into a story that's, well, it's just incredibly human. It's all about the very end of this massive, monumental journey. It's about leadership, sacrifice, and what it really feels like to get right to the finish line. So let's start that final climb together. So I want you to keep this question in the back of your mind as we go. What does a lifetime of struggle look like from the very end? Because that's really what this whole story is about. One person confronting the sum total of their entire life's work. And let me tell you, it's a moment that's just as triumphant as it is absolutely heartbreaking. 120. That's the age we're talking about for our protagonist, Moses. Just think about that for a second. 120 years old. Can you even imagine the sheer weight of that time? The decades he spent leading a people through everything. Hardship, doubt, rebellion. He's not just carrying his own years. He's carrying the burden of an entire nation's journey on his shoulders. Okay, so picture this. We're standing on the peak of Mount Nebo. The air is sharp, the ground is all rock and dust, and this wind is just howling across this really desolate landscape. And it's right here, after this slow, steady, final climb, that this 120-year-old man finally plants his feet, leaning really heavily on that staff of his. And there he is, Moses. You can see his body is just weary, right? Hunched over from age and total exhaustion. But his eyes, wow, his eyes tell a completely different story. They're shining with this deep, deep wisdom and also this incredible longing. He is the absolute picture of a leader who has given every single thing he has, right up to this very last moment. What's so powerful about this moment is the contrast. I mean, look behind him. What do you see? 40 years in a vast, barren desert. That's his entire past. But then he looks forward, and wow, this incredible panoramic view just opens up. It's green, it's fertile, it's full of rolling hills and the promise of a future. And you can see all of that reflected on his face, can't you? There's pride, for sure, but also sadness, and this just profound longing for what's right there in front of him. And then a voice breaks the silence. It's not a shout. It's powerful, but gentle, almost like it's being carried on the wind itself. It's a command, yeah, but it feels more like an invitation. Moses, lift up your eyes and look. God is telling him, it's time. Witness what you've achieved. And this isn't just, a casual glance at a nice view. No, what's about to happen is way more than that. It's like a divine guided tour, a tour of the future his people are about to inherit. He's getting to see the promise itself, piece by piece. So let's follow his gaze. The tour starts to the north. His eyes move across the hilly country of Gilead, this rugged land that stretches all the way up to the northernmost territory of Dan. He's not just seeing land, he's seeing potential, the space for his people to finally grow. Okay, now his view shifts a bit to the northwest. This is the land of Naphtali. And here's where you see the promise of real abundance. You can almost picture it, can't you? The hints of future olive groves, vineyards climbing up the slopes. This isn't a land for mere survival. This is a place for them to truly flourish. And now his gaze sweeps right over the heart of it all, the future lands of Ephraim and Manasseh. He's seeing these wide, fertile valleys with rivers, the lifeblood of a nation, carving right through the landscape. This is a place that can sustain a people. This is richness. This is stability. And to finish it all off, the tour moves south. His view just expands and expands all the way across the hills of Judah until it hits the horizon, where the great western sea, what we call the Mediterranean, is just shimmering in the distance. I mean, it's the whole thing. The complete, magnificent, absolutely overwhelming vision of the promise, all laid out right in front of him. And Moses is just standing there, completely still. You can imagine a single tear tracing a path down his weathered face. And that voice comes back. And it confirms everything. This is it. This is the land, the one I swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. The goal of his entire life, right there. He has been allowed to see it. He saw it fulfilled. And then come the final words. Quiet. Devastating. But you will not enter it. The promise is real. The journey is done. The destination is right there, but it's not for him. Think about that. He's the guide who led everyone right to the front door, but he himself isn't allowed to step inside.
So what would you expect right now? Bitterness? Anger? Just crushing despair? I mean, I probably would, but Moses' reaction, it's something else entirely. And in this final moment, we see this profound, calm acceptance that truly defines his legacy.
His response? It's just a whisper, almost lost on the wind. It is enough, Lord. I have seen it. Your will be done. There's no fight left in him. Just peace. A deep, settling peace. Because for him, seeing the promise was the fulfillment. The task was done. It was never, ever about his own personal reward.
And that right there, that's his ultimate legacy. A whole life of struggle fulfilled. Not by owning something, but by seeing it, by witnessing it. And in that moment of acceptance, you can just feel that immense weight of centuries of duty finally being lifted from him. He finds a peace that honestly is hard to even understand. He did it. He succeeded. And so, this brings us all the way back to that question we started with, but now we're seeing it through Moses' eyes. What does it actually mean to build a future you won't get to see? To be a parent or a teacher, an innovator, a leader. To pour your entire life into building a better world, a kind of promised land that you yourself might never get to set foot in. That is the timeless and incredibly powerful question that this view from Nebo leaves us with.